Here are the top 10 back stretches that you need to be doing. Back pain is one of the most common ailments in the world, and to be honest, is only gonna get worse as time goes on because of how much sitting we're doing in the digital age. And while I'm not saying that stretching will magically fix your back pain, I'm a firm believer that increasing the flexibility in the muscles around your spine is one of the best things that you can do to start improving the way your back feels today. Your spine has 4 major motions: flexion, extension, lateral flexion, and rotation. I'm gonna show you my favorite stretches for each motion, and by the end of this video, you're gonna have so many more tools at your disposal that you can start using to make your back feel better. So let's get into it. So the first stretch is the world's greatest low back stretch. So if you take nothing else away from this video, start doing this stretch and your back is gonna feel a lot better. So what you do is you set up like you're setting up for a butterfly stretch, except the difference is you're not gonna have your feet in close like this. You're gonna have them a little bit further away. And then from here, what you do is you just lean forward. Just like that. So what you want to focus on is allowing your spine to flex. You may feel this a little bit more in your hips as opposed to your lower back, but just keep practicing it and you will feel your low back over time. So again, this is how it looks. And then from here, you just want to breathe and just stay relaxed. So the second one is more for the mid back. So what you do for this is you get set up right around here. You want to have roughly a 90-degree angle at your knees. And then you want to grab one of your wrists, hold that tight. And then what you want to do is you want to slump backwards like this. And then to increase the stretch, you walk your feet back. So notice how I'm slumping back even further in the stretch. And then again here, you want to just breathe. And every exhale, you just want to sink a little bit deeper into the stretch. So you can notice my upper back and mid back is rounding a lot more here than the other one. And what you can also do is tilt your head a little bit like this. And then if your neck is really tight, you'll feel some good stretching in the neck there too. So this is another good one. All right, so for this stretch, I have a couple blocks on this bench and I'm gonna show you why. So when you sit down for this stretch, you wanna make sure that your hips are higher than your knees. So if I was sitting down like this for this stretch where my hips are at the level with my knees, it wouldn't work. So you wanna get some blocks here and you wanna sit down and have your hips be higher. So from here, you wanna open your knees out and you wanna make sure your legs stay in this exact position. And from here, you're gonna rotate, bend over to the side, and then you're gonna feel a really, really good stretch on your QL muscles back here. And then you wanna just do your best to relax. For a lot of you, this is gonna hit that area in your back that you have been trying to stretch out for years, and it's gonna be like a eureka moment. This is a really good stretch when I first discovered it. So again, lean to the side, allow the back to flex. And then when you need a little bit more, if you're pretty flexible here, you can use your hands to pull the legs in. And what you don't want to have happen here is you don't want to let this knee cave in because then you're going to lose the stretch. So you want to keep your leg out as you flex forward. And there shouldn't be any pinchiness in the side that's flexing. It should feel pretty good. So if there is any pinchiness, you might be sitting a little bit too low. You might need to sit the hips up higher. And then you would hold that and then do the other side. So this stretch is absolutely fantastic. It's one of my favorites. Here's a classic spinal rotation stretch. So you've probably seen this stretch before. It's one of the most classic stretches there is, but people do it wrong. So this is how they normally do it. They lie on their back and they just bring the leg over and then they just go into a stretch. So I don't like that because it brings your spine into a little bit too much extension. So a little tweak that makes such a big difference that you wanna do is grab your leg and as you're bringing it over, you wanna scoot your hips over a little bit. So that's gonna keep your spine in a more neutral position and keep the stretch more of a pure rotation. So a couple of keys with this. So you wanna grab under the thigh here and you don't wanna focus on just pressing it down. You wanna grab it and drag the leg away and focus on reaching this opposite hand away as well. So that keeps it more of a rotation as opposed to you're just pressing the leg down. So you wanna relax the leg, relax this foot to the floor, and just breathe. So next up, we have more of a mid-back rotation on a wall. So this is the only dynamic stretch we'll be doing today, but it's really, really good. So to do this, you're gonna put your hands behind your head, maintain a nice tall posture during this, and you're gonna rotate towards the wall, and then rotate back, just like that. Rotate towards the wall, and then rotate back. So if that's too much for you, keeping your leg pinned against the wall like that, here's a regression you can do. You're simply gonna switch legs, grab a foam roller, and press it against the wall. So now you can make the same motion, but you have a lot more room to open up towards the wall like that. And then you come out. So really simple way to make that easier. So now we have the lateral flexion cross-legged stretch. So you're gonna sit cross-legged just like this. You're gonna lean to the side, and your goal is to be able to rest your forearm on the ground and then put your hand on your head like this. And from here, you just wanna breathe and just relax with every single breath. And then when you're done, gently push yourself out of it, and then you go to the other side. So if you can't rest your forearm on the ground here, you can bring your hand out to the side like this, give yourself a little support. That's a little bit easier. So feel free to do whatever your ability level is. All right, next up we have the lateral flexion stretch with your leg out straight. So what you're gonna do here is you're gonna be on your side, leg is gonna be straight, and then the goal is to put your leg in front and have a fully locked out arm in this position. So if this is too much for you, you come down to your forearm, and you may be so tight that you get a stretch right here. But over time, again, just like with the other stretch, you could bring your arm out a little further to help you get up. And then over time, you want to have your hand right about next to you here. Make sure your hips are pointed square and they're not like dumping back like this. And then you're gonna get a nice stretch on the obliques right there. So then you would hold this for a minute or two. So I'll show you what this looks like from the other side. So you would turn over, bring this leg straight, bring this leg over. And then again, you don't want to have your hips back here like this. You want to roll them out, and then that's going to intensify the stretch there a lot. All right, so here's another really good QL stretch. So what you're going to do is you're going to take a thick band, you're going to wrap it around the midfoot, put your leg in here. Make sure your hips are kind of open like this, and they're not like too much pointed forward towards that foot. So you want to open the hips out a little bit. You could even bend this leg if your hamstrings weren't flexible enough to do this. So I'll actually show you that first. And you're gonna get your elbow right on the inside of the thigh, and you're gonna push on the leg to open up your body towards here. You don't wanna have your chest facing your leg. You wanna open it up, and then for some of you, you're gonna get a crazy stretch right here. So you could just stay here and just hold that for the amount of time. How to kick it up a notch is you put your hand on the back of your head, lean to the side, and then what you could do over time is straighten out the leg. Again, open up to the side, and you could even reach this way, and you're gonna get a crazy stretch like all along the side of your body. So that's a really, really good one. All right, so for this next one, you will need some sort of a setup like this. So you can see there's a bench here laid across the rack, and then the bar is about bench height, if you can see that. And then you're gonna have some weight holding the bar down. And then you want the bar pulled all the way to the front to the edge of the pins. So don't worry, this isn't gonna fall off because it has the weights on. So I'm gonna show you what stretch we're gonna do with this. All right, so you wanna play around with the bench distance here. So I found my good bench distance, and I'll show you what that means. So you wanna set up with your sternum roughly aligned with the edge of the bench, and you wanna have it so that when you reach back, your arms can be fully straight and you can fully grab the bar. So from here, you relax your head, drop your hips until you feel a nice stretch. You don't want to feel it really too much in the low back here. It should just be all in this region. And just relax. And then this is how you want to get out of the stretch too, because it's going to be really intense. So go ahead and just sit on the ground. You can lean back against the bench. Just chill out for a second, and then when you're ready, you can sit up. So you can do this on a Smith machine at the gym, you can do this on a rack just like I'm doing, but if you don't have those and you're just at home right now and you have access to a foam roller, here's what you can do instead. So if you don't have the equipment to do that stretch, do this instead. So you're gonna grab a foam roller and you're gonna put it underneath your mid back, kind of in the same spot of where I wanted you to put it on the bench, and then you're gonna reach back and just try to melt into the stretch. So again, the goal with this one is to allow your back ribs to just melt into the foam roller and just try to stay as relaxed as possible. All right, guys, that's it for the video. If you liked it, please subscribe. It would mean the world to me, and then I'll see you next time. Peace.